Welcome to the January 17 Eclipse OpenJ9 community call. If you can add your name and affiliation to the list of attendees, that would be great. Just gives us an idea of who's regularly attending. Got the usual agenda in front of us. If there's something you want to tackle right off the bat or something that you want to tack on, feel free to either chime in now or add something to the any other business section. So I'll pause for a minute if somebody wants to jump in. Okay. We don't have a lightning talk scheduled. We haven't for a bit, but if you do have one that you want to give, reach out to me. We'll get something set up. Let's take a look at the recent end user issues. So looks like there's only one that's come in since the last one of these meetings, and that's being handled by Keith. So thank you for that. Is there anything else in this list that's a little older that needs some attention or some discussion? Then we will jump back to the agenda, and that brings us to the release roadmap. So thank you to whoever did the work to get the AR64 builds out on January 16th. So nice to get that 035 release finished off at this point.
Are you sharing the screen?
I am. Do you not see it?
I don't, but I was fighting with Blue Jeans just to connect.
I can see it.
Okay. I'm gonna.
It's always the concern when it's quiet when you join the meeting and you're like, am I presenting to anyone or not? So thanks for confirming there, Daryl. So it sounds like 035 is complete. We'll remove that from the agenda for the next one of these calls. That brings us to 036, where I see that there are 2 issues waiting on triage. Pull that up.
Yes. Sorry, what was the last thing you said?
There are 2 issues sort of blocking the 036 release. Do you have an update on what they are?
Same as last week. One's a perf issue. We're waiting for the cause to be tracked down so we could see if it impacts some OpenJ9 builds. It was found by IBM on some internal builds, but I suspect it may impact OpenJ9 builds as well. And the other one is a regression in a RAS test. We've identified the cause of the regression, so somebody's investigating what the fix would be.
Any sense of where we're at in those investigations?
For the perf, we're still trying to track down the cause, and for the RAS regression, it was assigned out yesterday, so I don't know how much progress has been made so far.
Okay. That's definitely delaying our GA start. Doesn't sound like we have a target date for this yet. Or day-by-day slip, it sounds like.
Correct.
Anything else for the 036 release?
Just a note about 035, in case you didn't read it. We're going to be updating our website and user guide to include the information about AR64 Mac, but I don't think Eclipse is publishing. We moved where our website content is hosted, and Eclipse was supposed to change to publish from that location. But I noticed when we did some copyright updates for the website, we accidentally deleted our user guide content, and that's not reflected in the live website. So I suspect Eclipse isn't publishing what we're putting in the location that the website's supposed to be hosted from. So we're going to have to talk to them to see what needs to be fixed. I'll just say that we may not be able to make any website or user guide updates until we get some help from Eclipse.
Thank you for being on that and catching that. For Java 19, what's the current state on this? Are we closer to being able to start putting out milestone builds and closing out the issues?
Dan, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so for Java 19, we've been progressing through the list of issues that need to be fixed before we can start the milestone builds. So right now the focus is on some of the JIT changes that we're currently trying to push through. I think Daryl will have an update for that.
Yeah, I mean, we're making progress. I think we have 6 targeted against the JIT. We have a fix for one of them for sure, 16161. So that should go in once that one is complete. There's another one, 15251, which is fixed, but the tests just need to be re-enabled. So I have to see what to do there. And then we've got one, there's the JIT return address one that still seems to be showing up quite a bit. I reviewed those changes that Jason had asked about, so I think but there's still some outstanding questions there, so I think we need to figure out what we want to do going forward. The memory one, it's hard to reproduce right now because that test fails all the time with other crashes or the JIT return address problem. So I think we need to get those out of the way before investigating that one deeper. Anyway, we've made good progress in the last week, and I expect that we're going to continue to as the days go by here.
Okay, so it sounds like we're not looking at a January release for this. We're looking at least something in February. Is that an accurate statement for where we're at with Java 19?
That will likely be the case since we're looking at about a week or more for the milestone builds anyway.
Cheng, is there an update on the Panama piece?
Dan, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. And there's for Java 19, there's a 2 issue left. One of them is in OpenJT, another one is JIT issues, which the JIT team already figured out the root cause and already create PRs out there in terms of machine invoke basic. What happens is they when they're doing LT, so they actually never implement anything in LT, in which case they just go through incorrect results hopper. So they already created PRs for that to exclude LT when they're doing in JET, so which works good. In terms of issues for structcat in IX, I've still not yet get time on that because this has nothing to do with OpenJ9. It's something our code in Java 17 not quite fit with the code in Java 19. So we need to figure out what's happening there. I still need to take a while in there. That's for Java 19. In terms of Java 20, just get started with the code changes and try to figure out the specifics against the listed APIs to figure out what we need to change, what we need to adjust out there. That's about everything on my side.
Anything else we want to touch on for Java 19? Is there anything worth discussing for Java 20 at this point? Then we'll jump down to the...
Could we get an update on the JEP 434 work?
I already get started working at as I mentioned, so the codes need to be updated in OpenGTK and also in OpenJ9, but we just started on the OpenGTK side.
Are we able to put in stubs to get compilation working, or do we need implementations?
We just update APIs. I don't think we need to refactor everything in there.
I think what Pete is asking is how quickly can we get builds working again?
Because it is a little bit complicated. The GOS 70.02 along with the other changes are there, not just for the 4.3.4. So I trying to update the changes on top of the JSON stage branch. So it's kind of tricky out there. If we have to wait to implement everything on my side, it could take a while. Get everything's done.
Yeah, I don't think we want to wait for it.
Probably so far, my estimation is about need 2 or 3 weeks to get everything done. That's my initial plan.
Okay, is there a path that gets us something before 2 or 3 weeks? It would be good if we can get the builds compiling again, even if it's just with stub functions or stub implementations.
Initially, I think because there are a couple of APIs, there's no back competitive with those APIs. So if we simply trying to compile, then we have to exclude something in OpenJ9 and update a little bit in Java 20 to get it compiled. If we just mean it comes to compilation.
Yes, I think that's, and Pete, jump in if I'm putting words in your mouth. But I think the answer is the sooner we get something
what I'm
built,
saying,
the better.
yeah, right. That's what I think is still a little bit tricky out there.
So if I understood correctly, Cheng's looking at the staging branch.
Yeah, right.
Should be noted that the staging branch, I believe, is now quite old because we turned off importing the latest updates.
Okay.
So I don't know if we want to get the latest, or should we stick on what we've got until that's working and then move up?
Jason, you want to get updates with the staging branch? Jason?
Yeah.
You better
Basically,
update.
right now we disabled the merging OpenJDK stuff into our staging branch at both JDK 20 and the JDK Next 2 extension labels. And I guess we could give you a updated latest
yeah, because that way
branch
we
if
can
you
just build on top of that.
sure I can build one, and probably I would suggest that we still keep currently whatever we have. You can keep working on it, and we build another one, and then you can have a look to see which one maybe offers quick way to make it compile job work.
It's just for combination, and it doesn't work. Actually, literally, it doesn't work at all.
Okay. Yeah, because
I hope I can do that, but based on my initial understanding, and it's hard to estimate things really work in terms of combination. So
if we've got nothing working, it sounds like the better approach is to work on the latest and not something that's old. The latest could have fixes in it and changes in it.
Yeah, sure. I can look at it today and give you a updated staging branch.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Pete, is there anything else you wanted on that topic?
No, that's it.
Don't see the regular adopt contributors, so we'll skip over that update. Adam, is there an update on the infrastructure?
Yep. So the big thing right now is the UNB VPN is down. So the UNB guy has acknowledged that he's looking at it. He doesn't know what's wrong, nothing obvious, but they did have a restart yesterday morning due to a storm. So I'm wondering if maybe that exposed some other underlying issue or something. So we'll hopefully get that back up shortly. Our factory disk space is fine for now. We do have another TB drive waiting. We just need to work with them to figure out how to add it. Cent 6, we added labels to the Cryu specs to exclude Cent 6, so we could re-enable those machines if we wanted to, because they would work for JDK 8.
I did re-enable them.
Okay.
Either Sunday or Monday, but of course, then UNV was down, so we got nothing.
I'll take that off here then. Good for me, unless there's any questions.
Okay. Thanks, Adam. We don't see Marius, so we can skip over a JIT server update. The microJIT, assuming the next meeting must be what, the 28th? 6th?
I usually just jump them ahead by 2 weeks, but I don't know that we've ever got confirmation that we're on the right week. But we can keep jumping ahead by 2 weeks until we get confirmation.
Great. Toby, is there an update on CRIU support?
Nothing new to mention this week.
Daryl, is there an update on the Mac M1 work?
No, nothing hasn't already been discussed.
Anything else that we want to tackle this week? All right, then. Thank you, everybody, for joining, and we'll meet again next week.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.